So we're at Gulf and Ohio Railways with Pete Clausen and Scott Ogle, and we're going to talk about the steam locomotive Mississippi. Pete, tell us what's going on with that locomotive.
Well, we got it not knowing what it was. We knew it was an old locomotive, and we thought that it would make a nice addition to the old stuff that we run, and so it's in here, and we did a little historical research and found out that it's the oldest surviving American locomotive of the standard type. And but we looked at it and realized when we started taking it apart that it's in great shape. And we said, well, let's see if we can make it run. So maybe we will.
What's the pedigree on this steam locomotive?
It was built in New York City and delivered to Natchez, Mississippi in 1836. And there it stayed in Mississippi, worked on 3 different railroads, and then on the 4th one, the first 3 were 4-foot 10-inch gauge. So the man who acquired it had to reduce the gauge by 1.5 inches, which he did. And then it went to, he donated it to the Illinois Central, so it could be displayed at the Columbian Exposition in Chicago. Baltimore and Ohio was running that, the American part of that, and so they got it, and then they kept it until about 1925. Gave back the IC. It was then displayed at the second Chicago World's Fair, and then went on display at the Museum of Science and Industry until 2015 when they sold it. It represents the oldest American locomotive of its kind. It's the beginning of the line of locomotives that ended with, well, ones like 6 and 11.
Scott, you're a steam locomotive mechanic. When you see that engine, what do you see?
Well, it's what started everything that we know of today as the modern steam locomotive. And it's got all the mechanical attributes that you see, the fine beginnings that Mississippi has and what they evolved into. It's just the cutest little locomotive package that I've come across in my time when working on locomotives. But the idea of the engineering that was put into it, the repair work that you can see that has been done to it, and the longevity the career that this unit had, it's extraordinarily interesting, the history alone on it.
And it's mostly original. The running gear's new. I mean, it's only 130 or 40 years old. But the boiler and the firebox and most of the smoke box are original, which is amazing, considering it went through a war.
And that's what I'm not used to, accustomed to going into steam locomotive projects, and you're seeing what they did back in the day just to keep the thing serviceable, and this one is an era way before then, so everything's mechanically done, it's systematically repaired. And
with a very high degree of craftsmanship in a lot of cases.
That's right, the machinists, the boiler makers, it's all, it represents their trade immensely, how professional they were at their craft.
What are some of the interesting mechanical features that you look at it and you see?
Well, looking at the way the valves designed, the cylinders are designed, and the fireman side cylinder, if you will, it's obviously had some type of hydrostatic block at some point in time. And the craftsman that did a repair on it, there's a brass rolled patch that's just fitted in there beautifully. It's got all the attributes of what evolved into what we know as the modern locomotive, but it's all in such a small package because in its era it was the full-scale locomotive.
And it's fascinating that the wrapper sheet on the back was hand forged, so they had to heat it up and hammer it over so that it fit inside the top wrapper sheet. That's just really interesting. It can tell you so much. We know it has a second steam dome on it, but the place where the throttle originally was is still apparent and filled in. It's neat. It makes the forensic work kind of fun.